Once upon a time, 1907 to be exact, there was a happy man named Fred Wells Jr. Fred Jr., along with his lovely wife Miriam, his parents Clara and Fred Sr., and too many siblings to count, had their sights set on a better life. Their aspirations led them on an adventure from their home in Chicago, Illinois, to a new homestead just east of the Badlands of South Dakota. This hardworking family founded and built from the ground up the town of Wellsburg. Oh, but living was tough, and farming even tougher. The sky was stingy with its rain, the soil was parched, crops wouldn't grow, and relentless winds blew the hope of prosperity right off the land. Fred and Miriam wondered if perhaps their hope of prosperity might be found someplace else, somewhere other than the tiny, struggling town of Wellsburg. So in 1911, they kissed family members goodbye and made the bittersweet decision to seek opportunity back in Chicago. Well, as fate would have it, during their journey, Fred and Miriam came upon a spectacular sight. A little town, a town bustling with life and opportunity. A thriving town whose residents were participating in such leisure activities as polo, steeplechasing, golf, and running of the hounds. These folks knew how to live it up. The town's name, Le Mars, Iowa. There was something about this lively town and its fun-loving city folk that inspired Fred. He saw Le Mars as a town of opportunity, so he started his own business. He called the company the Wells Dairy Delivery Service. Fred bought a delivery wagon, the use of 15 milk cows from a local dairy farmer, some jars, bottles, and a trusty horse named Nellie. Now, it's no small task starting your own company, but Fred was a smart businessman and a hard worker. To help meet demand for customer orders, Fred's wife Miriam and their two young sons pitched in, bottling and capping milk, which in 1913, a quart bottle of milk sold for a nickel. Customers really enjoyed the quality of dairy products and friendly service the Wells family provided. And it wasn't long before Fred was joined in the business by his brother, Harry. The Wells brothers recognized another opportunity and decided to expand the company's offerings and began selling ice cream in Le Mars and nearby Sioux City. Fred and Harry loved seeing the smiles on customers' faces when their ice cream was being served. And serving up a lot of ice cream is just what the Wells family did. The family's success didn't go unnoticed by an area ice cream competitor. One day, Fairmont Creamery from Sioux City, Iowa came calling. Fairmont didn't care for the stiff competition the Wells were bringing to the ice cream business. So Fairmont offered to purchase the Wells' rights to sell ice cream in Sioux City for a period of 5 years, and for a rather hefty sum of money. Fred and Harry accepted. This transaction couldn't have happened at a better time, for just a few months later came the Great Depression, which ravaged the country in the 1930s. The money from the sale of the ice cream rights and Fred Jr.'s thriftiness allowed the Wells family dairy business to survive this dark economic time. But the gloomy clouds of the Depression eventually parted, and the glorious rays of the sun shone down again on the country, and the Wells dairy business began to blossom. 5 years had passed since the sale to Fairmont Creamery, and Fred Jr. and brother Harry wanted to expand the reach of the ice cream part of the business to surrounding towns, and that included getting back to Sioux City. To attract attention to the ice cream brand, Wells Dairy held a Name That Ice Cream contest. An artist with the Sioux City Journal newspaper offered his entry into the competition. George Vandenbrink says his inspiration for the name came from his young son's fondness for an Easter Bunny display he'd seen in a local department store's window. Well, guess what color the department store's bunny was? Mr. Vandenbrink won the contest and not only named the ice cream, but also designed the new logo for what would become known as Blue Bunny Ice Cream. Well, World War II came and went, and in 1954, the Wells family mourned the passing of Wells Dairy founder Fred Wells Jr. It was proposed in the hearts of the remaining family members to carry on the dairy and ice cream business. Fay Wells and Mike Wells returned from military duty to help Harold and Roy continue to grow the company. Their cousin, Fred D. Wells, joined in, and the 5 family members agreed to form a partnership. Each family member did their part and tackled the daily challenges head on, and always with a smile on their face. Hey, after all, they were in the business of bringing smiles to people's faces. Well, before you know it, this once fledgling company was celebrating its 50th year in business and now employed over 150 people. Shortly after that, the company incorporated and could proudly state the distinction of the largest privately held, family-owned and managed dairy processor in the United States. And to what would have thrilled founder Fred Wells Jr. to no end is that in 1994, an Iowa congressional bill named Lamar's, Iowa, the ice cream capital of the world. It's amazing to think that something as simple as a scoop of ice cream can bring so much joy to so many people and so much success to a community. Wells continues to grow and innovate, adding manufacturing plants to accommodate product line expansion, and building a 10.2 million cubic foot freezer that towers 12 stories high to keep all our frozen treats fresh. Wells loves producing ice cream so much that now that's all we do. In 2007, Wells bid a fond farewell to the milk and dairy business and solely devotes our time to the production of ice cream. Wells produces over 150 million gallons of ice cream annually. Over 1 million ice cream sandwiches are produced in one day. It takes a lot of people to make that much ice cream. Our small town, roll up your sleeves attitude shines through, and we know that our employees are our most valuable assets. In 2007, Mike Wells, grandson to Harry Cole Wells, assumed the position as president and CEO of Wells Enterprises Incorporated. Under Mike's leadership, Wells has continued its community involvement. It's a commitment to the city of Lamar's and its people. A commitment that started the day Fred Wells Jr. arrived in town, ready to make his mark on this sparkling community. Fred Wells Jr. once said, "Success comes to those who consistently provide their customers with quality products and good value." Well, there's no doubt that Fred would scarcely recognize the company he created over 100 years ago. A quality-focused company whose mission is to bring joy to everyday life because of the love of ice cream. What started way back in 1913 continues into the future, building upon a unique family legacy, a tradition of making sweet treats in a sweet Iowa town, and putting smiles on faces of ice cream lovers everywhere for years to come.